First, I'd like to introduce myself as U.S.A-CAN. I've been a member of this organization for 42 years now. I began in Paris thanks to my mother, whose birthday would have been today, in fact. So I feel very honored to be here with you, thanks to her. So today, the topic is not the usual type of topics we present here. Since it's the end of the year, it was a very challenging year, I think, for most people on the planet Earth. I thought to relax and have fun. So it's going to be a very fun type of mathematics that we're going to do today together. And the purpose, of course, is to learn something about spirituality. So in this organization, all the teachings we received were revealed teachings by the first spiritual leader. This one here is the third. Since the beginning in 1959, the first spiritual leader received the revelation on February 27th at 5 o'clock in the morning. And thereafter, many other revelations, which are documented in a book that is not yet translated in English, that is called U.S.A-CAN. Little by little, we have classes like this, where Mr. Kenji basically explains one after the other the significance and depth of those revelations. But he also received the divine songs. He was waken up early in the morning and was given divine songs that were revealed to him. Those are translated. So I'm going to sing one of those for you to illustrate the theme of today. And I'll have the English translation over there for you.
Okay.
So this one is entitled Leishin Sokushinko. And I think I can use this technology. Loving God is tuning in to Him. So, Kami ko uru kokoro yurushi mase waga kami yo iyashiki tamani ware kizuku ima Kami ko uru kokoro o iyamasu magami tachi chi ni orita mo miyo o machi tsutsu koisu cho kokoro wa gesho no yume to shimo koi ni yume miru koisu wanga kami koisu cho kokoro shirikeri ware koisureba koi ni wakitatsu kami yo koishiku matsuru inu kami no oritatsu koi Jehova kouru ware wa mo koi ni ikinuku miru hito no kokoro gokoro ni makase okite takane yu geshio no kami o kouru mo ren ai wa kejo no yume to kasuru tomo towa ni suno kami kouru ware nari. Yes. Now let's see what this translates into numbers. So God created everything in the universe, right? Using various amazing methods. created the mechanisms that are at the origin of the creation of the entire universe. So amongst everything he created, obviously, he created the number. Each number has a certain significance. Each letter, each sound has also a certain power and a certain significance. Today we're going to play a little bit with the numbers to see how beautiful and intricate this creation is. So let's look at the beauty of mathematics. So you're going to write, if you don't mind, and please calculate. The first is very easy. It is 1 times 8 plus 1. 1 times 8 plus 1.
9.
9, perfect. All right. Second line, 12. So we're going to add to the 1 the number after. So that's going to be 12, then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So 12 times 8 plus 2.
98.
How much?
98.
Perfect. All right, third. 123 times 8 plus 3.
987.
Perfect. You're not using your calculator?
No, you just use your brain
Of course
for
I
that.
am.
1,234 times 8 plus 4.
9,876.
908,076.
9,000.
Perfect. Did you calculate or?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Now, Kathy,
Next
I'm not hearing you. I thought you were going to be first each time. I'm just teasing you, don't worry. All right, next is 12,345 times 8 plus 5. Does anybody know this answer without calculation?
98765.
Fantastic, I think you got the idea.
That's a pattern.
Wow.
All right, so
I used to
now
teach math, so.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
123, oh sorry, 12,000,
Can
No.
you just stand to the side a little bit?
Iman,
Thank you.
come on this side, thank you.
Thank you.
So the next is going to be
123,000.
12, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8 plus 6. Can you figure out what that number is going to be?
987654.
Absolutely. And you can verify if you wish with your calculator.
Yeah.
Yes, it's.
Next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1,234,560.
Times 8 plus 7.
9877643. Yep.
Exactly. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Times 8 plus 8. Anybody can give this one? Lucy?
98. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kathy.
9876542.
Right.
Exactly.
That's correct.
Perfect.
So smart.
Next is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Times 8 plus 9.
987654321.
Exactly.
Oh,
Isn't that beautiful?
it's amazing.
Okay. Let's go on to another series of,
Oh, can I take a picture there?
sure. Okay. So, as we get prepared for the next series, Kathy, can you tell me how much is 1 times 9 plus 2? 1 times 9
11.
plus 2. 11, exactly. 1 times 9 plus 2, 11. So pretty much like we did earlier, we're going to add each time the following number. So then we're going to go with 12, then with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. Okay, so now we're going 12 times 9 plus 3. Do you know anyone how much this is? Attendez pas encore la réponse.
111.
Yes.
Or
She did that in her brain.
And then 123 times 9 plus 4.
1111.
Thank you.
Oh, now we got it.
1, 2, 3, 4 times 9 plus 5. How many ones?
Five.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't know if you do the 5 and the 6.
No, we didn't do a
Stop at
5 yet, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rather, yeah. Times 9 plus 6. How many ones?
6.
Thank you. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 9 plus 7. How many ones?
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 9 plus 8. How many ones?
8.
8.
There you go. See, math is not that difficult, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 9 plus 9. How many ones?
9.
9.
100. You have 100. That's your grade.
Oh, really?
The right answer on a very long operation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 9 plus 10. How many ones?
10.
All right. We have an excellent class here. Isn't this beautiful? That's probably the kind of math that your ancestors did when they created the pyramids. You know, we
Yeah.
still wonder how were they, done those pyramids. Those stones are so heavy. There was no equipment at the time. But the spiritual power, the mental power, and the physical power humans had then was closer to our original condition, right? You know, we were taught that because of all the impurities we have accumulated over the centuries and millenaries, we have shrinked from beings that were very strong spiritually, mentally, and physically. And now all our impurities have shrinked us to that extent that it's difficult to imagine how we can carry, such, or even conceive, such wonderful monuments as the pyramid, which represents the configuration of the invisible world, in fact. So, yeah. So now we're going to go to the next one. So, Susan, can you tell me how much is 9 times 9 plus 7?
88. Perfect.
You're good. Oh, you're a teacher.
I'm going back to my basic memorization
basics.
of my multiplication.
Fantastic. So, we have several teachers here. I think that Vida, you're going to be my next question. How much is 98 times 9 plus 6?
98 times 9?
Yes, 98 times 9 plus 6.
Okay.
You can take your calculator.
Start it off. 897?
No.
888.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
All right, and now, do we have other teachers in the room?
Shirley used to be a teacher.
Ah,
Math.
so Shirley, math
Sorry.
teacher, okay, so you have, my next question is 987 times 9 plus 5. You can use your calculator. Ah, you're that's called cheating.
Eight.
That's called cheating, what you just did, right?
I was trying to help her. She didn't tell me yet. I just said it. Yeah.
I was taught when I was in school that it's okay to cheat as long as you don't get caught. So, next is 9876 times 9 plus 4.
8.
Correct? Who gave that answer?
Shirley.
Oh.
There's a photo.
And next is 98765 times 9 plus 3.
Yep. There you go.
Next is 987654 times 9 plus 2. 7 eighths, yes.
7, 8, yep. It's just amazing.
Next is 9876543 times 9 plus 1. That's 9 eighths, right?
Yeah.
8.
8.
8 eighths, this one?
Yeah.
Yes,
8
8
eighths.
eighths, that's right. And finally, 9876543
9 8.
times 9 plus 0. What was your answer?
I think Shirley said 9 8.
Correct. 9 eighths, yes. Okay. So now let's admire in English, how do you say symmetry?
Symmetry.
Symmetry. Let's admire the symmetry of the numbers. So Kathy, how much is 1 times 1? Good. 1 times 1, 1. And Koichi-san, how much is 11 times 11?
121. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm not good at mathematics.
You were good in mathematics?
No.
Really, really? So Isa, you want to try the next one? Ayana-chan? Okay. Next is 111 times 111.
Can I help her?
You want to help her? Sure. Ah, she's doing manually. That's
Oh, okay. Okay. 111 times 111 equals 12,321.
321.
right. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Next, 1,111 times 1,111. Johanna, you want to go with this one?
I was trying to figure the pattern, but sorry. What did you say?
Look, you have 1, right? Then 1,
Yeah.
2, 1.
And
1,
then-
2, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And then
So-
1, 2, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah. Exactly. 5 ones times 5 ones.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ah, now you're ready. Now you're ready. Okay.
It's a chant we used to do in choir.
Oh, really?
1, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2.
There you go.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then 7, 6.
I didn't get a 6 in that.
You didn't get a 6?
Oh, strange. Well,
Try
maybe I
again.
just miscalculated.
Try again. That's six ones, then 6 ones, right?
7.
Which one are we doing now?
And
7?
then she wants to verify on her calculator.
Did 6 and 6.
2, 1.
Well, that's okay, go ahead, I'm just, it just for some reason didn't work for me.
Does your calculator, how many numbers
Yeah,
does it
it
take
is
though?
in there, it is in there, I just missed it somehow.
You missed it?
Mhm.
All right.
2, 3, 4,
And so
5,
7s is same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
2, 3, 4, 5,
And next is going to be 8 ones.
4. My calculator won't go that far.
Oh, it doesn't go that far. You want to use mine?
No, it's fine, it's okay,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
thank you.
You're welcome.
4, 6, 7, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1. Yeah, once you get whatever number of ones, then you stop there and then you're back.
Oh my gosh.
And finally, 9 ones.
So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just saying. I could be wrong about that.
No, I think you're right.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's awesome. Of course, my calculator says e to the 16th power. So
Oh, okay.
You put it in scientific notation.
I know. It's like, who does do that?
Okay, so now we're going to get into something kind of serious.
Oh, I was going to take it.
It's okay,
Oh,
I'll send it to you. I took a picture.
You got it? Okay.
You can send it to her?
Yeah, I'll send it to the group.
All right.
Is that all right?
So, how do you describe yourself giving your best effort in order to accomplish a goal or an objective? Would you say that you give like 5% of your effort, or 10%, or 70%? How would you describe it mathematically in terms of percentage? Your best effort.
100%.
100%. Okay. Everybody agrees on that? When you give 100% of your effort to accomplish something, you should be able to reach this goal. So you should be. But now, there is, I think in English, a saying, when you go beyond the call of duty. Is that an expression that resonates with you?
Yes.
Yes.
So, in some instances, for example, in this organization, things happen that are very unorthodox. I've explained to you, we have Mary right now with us. How did Mary connect with us? She connected with us through a dream that she had 2 days ago. And this dream told her about this radio. She had no idea whatsoever. She has no computer. She has no smartphone. She just has a landline. She had no link whatsoever. But she dreamt about this radio interview of yesterday. And at the time it began, she picked up her phone and she heard it all on her phone. That's why she's with us today on the phone. You see? So the same thing, the work we do here, you know, consists in mainly giving and receiving divine light and also dedicating truthfulness, as we explain, and we will explain this to you later. And sometimes we're very challenged. So, of course, you will notice that most of the people that practice this art here have a smile on their face, and there's good reasons. When you are happy, you smile. But when you smile, you become happy also. That's one of the secrets of happiness. You have to keep the smile, even in moments of turmoil. And sometimes you are challenged by all kind of phenomenon from the nature, and you are thus in a situation where you have to give a little bit more than just 100% in order to achieve your objectives. So let's say that this would be giving 101% of your effort. It's going beyond the call of duty. And I would like for you to maintain this idea in your mind, because this is the heart and the secret of this divine song that you've heard here. How to truly love, fall in love with God is different. Falling in love with humans is natural also. We fall in love with each other because we're humans. There is a divine nature that calls love within each other, despite all the madness that happens in the world. And this madness comes in a big way from those impurities we have accumulated over the years. At the beginning, we were just very loving for each other. There was not many of us on earth, and each of us had large amounts of land. And we used to just invite each other, to partake our belongings. We shared everything, we were really loving each other in the way that we should. Now, with everything that's happened since then, you see that very sadly, places of worship, that's where you connect with God, where you pray to God, you establish a rapport with God. And what happens nowadays in the year 2017? I think that 6 or 7 weeks ago, here in Texas, not far from San Antonio, somebody came in a Christian church while people were praying, and he took a weapon and started killing children, adults, and elder people in a place where we connect with God. Just think about that.
It's mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling to me that a place of connection and worship with God would have accumulated so many impurities that such things could happen. Because a pure place doesn't welcome such, not even bad words, not even a bad look. They're much more doing the most horrible thing a human being can do by killing not only a mosquito but another human being. And same, 3 or 4 weeks ago now in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, somebody came in a masjid, that's the place of worship for the Islamic religion, and he started killing a few dozens of people. And only 2 days later, I'm so sorry, in Egypt, 305 people, as they were praying, got killed just 2 weeks ago. And then when the ambulance came, they started shooting on the ambulance.
Wow.
You see? So that's how much our connection with God has been lost in the world of religions, in the world of science, in the world of medical science, in the world of nutrition, and so forth. So this is the reason why we have to give more than just 100% effort in order to reach an objective that is pure, beautiful, and righteous in the eyes of God. Let's see how this works mathematically. So we're going to provide a little mathematic formula that will help us to understand how we get beyond the call of duty, how we can give ourselves more than 100% effort, how we can realize more than 101%, or what does 100% represent in life. Let's write, for those of you who have a piece of paper, the letters of alphabet from A to Z. And for those who don't have a paper, could you please take the picture once she has aligned all the numbers to the letters, so that you have this, because we're going to erase before we come to the, we're going to erase that, so we will need you to know which number corresponds to each Latin alphabet. So A, B, C, D, F, G, Now, let's apply the numbers from 1 to 26 to each of those letters. So 1 will be A, B will be 2, C will be 3, all the way to 26. So has someone written down all those numbers or taken the picture, at least one person?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so now you can already see mine. We're getting your help for those who know what number corresponds to which letter. So we're going to see what percentage of effort is required in hard work, which is a prerequisite to something you want to do with much effort. So let's write hard work. Tu espaces chaque lettre avec un trait, tu vois. Comme ça, hard work. Hard work. In French, it's le travail dur, hard work. All right, so please give us the letters, the numbers of H, etc. And we're going to add them all up. So H, I think, was which
8.
number?
8.
Okay, so 8. And plus
1.
Plus
18.
18. Plus 4. Plus,
23.
but how much? 23. Plus
15.
15. Plus 18. Plus 11. America, have you added all those numbers?
No.
Can someone add all those numbers and we find out what's the percentage for hard work?
So one.
98 is total.
What's the total?
98. That's what I got.
98%.
98.
98% of effort is hard work. Okay. We also need a little bit of knowledge in order to accomplish something. So let's check what percentage we need in order to acquire knowledge. So let's write and space the letters for knowledge. In French, it's le savoir. Knowledge. So can you help us with the numbers? Number K,
11.
11 plus N, 14 plus
15.
plus
23.
plus
12.
plus
5.
plus
4.
plus
7.
plus.
5.
Okay. So let's see what percentage of effort we need in order to acquire knowledge. Please add these numbers up and let me know.
I'm not sure I had it right. I got 91.
You have 91? Hey, maybe you're off a few numbers.
I thought so. 6.
You really impress me, Shirley. You calculate without a calculator. So you never let yourself, you never followed the technology, replacing what we learned when we were young, how to calculate mentally. And now, that's really great.
It's impressive.
Yeah, that's 96% of effort in order to acquire knowledge. About Sugat?
I have a question.
Sure.
About how, so I think in the advertisement and there was relation to the spiritual mathematics and environment. So does the spiritual mathematics have an influence on environment?
If I remember well, the advertisement environment, which one was that? I think that we said we would combine the numbers with the Latin alphabet in order to find a formula enabling us to develop the love of God. And that's the formula here, 101% of your dedication, whatever it is that you do in life.
How does this number technique help with people that are looking for happiness or financial benefits or something else along those lines?
Good question, because we did speak about that. In fact, this is what we do here. Our specialty is to provide the ingredients for every human being, regardless the age, nationality, faith, experience, to become happy. Because that's initially the purpose of our life on earth, to become happy. And the practice that we do is comprised of 3 pillars. If we say giving truthfulness, receiving truthfulness, that's what we will do for those of you who would like to receive the divine light, and dedicating truthfulness, using the physical body to do things that are useful for his plan. So again, we can use this formula, you know, just learn the teachings, and that's 86%. And we can work hard, you know, like stay beyond the time we close the center and do physical work here to keep it clean for the next day. That's about 98%. We can maintain a positive attitude, and maintaining a positive attitude in itself is not always easy because of the various influence we receive. You know, you might be happy, then you have someone who says something very negative to you, or just walks on your foot. How do you keep a smile and say thank you? But maintaining this consistently is very important. That's what we call here changement of sonen, or having a positive attitude. It's not like being happy when things are easy, and when things are hard we start complaining. We maintain, you know, this state of gratitude and grace, no matter what the circumstances are. That's the 100%. And of course, loving God and really dedicating yourselves beyond the call of duty to save people, help people, get away from difficult circumstances and so forth. Change your entire community through this effort, going beyond the call of duty, is, you know, this particular formula that we're speaking about. So, of course, in another lecture, I would like to go more in depth with the spiritual aspects, because here we were played with the numbers. We just played with them. We did not approach the spiritual significance of each number. Let me just do this. May I erase this? You've taken the picture? Huh? Okay. I'm just going to keep this over here. So Lori, you asked me questions about the seminars. In the basic seminar, you don't learn much about the numbers, but you know, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, you know, each number has a certain significance. See, this is really the middle between 1, or between 0 and 10. And as you see, everything that's on the side of it, when you add it, it brings again the number of 10, which is a very important number in relation to his relationship with God himself. But you know, 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is for us an important number, as well as 4. You will see when we, and each of those numbers have a spiritual essence or a spiritual significance that you will learn at another occasion. When we pray like she just did, that's what we will do when we receive divine light. We bow twice, and then we clap 3 times in the hands, because 3 represents the 3 worlds: the physical, astral, and spiritual world. God created the spiritual, astral, and physical world, and he controls all those 3 worlds. That's why we clap 3 times in the hands when we bow. And when we pray here, and we finish offering our prayer after the 3 claps, we clap 4 times in the hands. This number 4 has the significance of the expansion, the 4 points of north, south, east, and west. So this type of teaching we will learn at another occasion. Today, the objective was really to have fun with the numbers, understand what we do here, and to answer your question, Johanna, of course, when you put 101% of your effort with sincerity in something righteous, pure, you will eventually reach happiness despite all of the. But here, because of the level of pollution we have accumulated on the spiritual body, our souls and spiritual cells, it's very difficult, only with the human power, to reach this goal in one lifetime. So now we have the ability, by combining our energy with God's energy in the form of pure light, like we receive here when we take the seminar, and still making 101% effort, it is possible within a few years to completely be free from disease, from unexpected accident, from poverty, and such situations. And we experience this every day. I think that you took the seminar 1 or 2 weeks ago, didn't you? Is there any experience you would like to share with us, for example, to illustrate my point?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
I actually encounter a lot of like my daughter, for example. Just me laying next to her after the times that I would come in here and receive light myself, I would just instantly increase that spiritual level with God. And just by laying next to her, she started throwing up, and she started releasing those toxins of impurity that as a human you were born with, and it made me very happy to know that.
Thank you very, very much. I know you guys have taken the seminar maybe a few months before. Would you like to share also with us one experience to illustrate the point that I've just made?
Yeah. Well, one thing I'd like to share is, I'm Stephen. This is my wife, Natalia. Fish are friends, not food. No, I'm just kidding. The 101%, since the time of the seminar, my 101% has gotten vastly bigger. And so, what is difficult for you now and what seems impossible may in a short time just be an everyday part of what you do. It's just like, oh yeah, of course if I need to be financially wise and I have an addiction for spending money, it's hard not to. It's hard not to max the credit card or blame somebody else. But when I become more spiritually clean and think about it, I say, well, of course I take responsibility for my credit card, because how else am I going to dig my way out of this? So it's a change of perspective and a change of capacity, and that is very important, at least for me, for you to know, is that it's not like you're supposed to be, climbing uphill like the little train that could with the same engine. Your engine gets bigger, and the equipment gets better. So that's what I'd like to share.
Yes, thank you very much for sharing that perspective, because this is really the answer to your question. And the answer to the question most people that come here would legitimately have. What do we bring to the society? We bring the ability within a relatively short period of time to be completely free from disease, from unexpected accidents, poverty, or anything negative in one's life. In other words, we reach the level that we call here U.S.A-CAN, that means perfect health, and also perfect harmony with everybody around you, and even those that you don't know that you encounter, and also perfect freedom from poverty. So health, harmony, wealth are the three things that result from the 101% effort that you invest. However, it's step by step, because the challenges are not physical. If you wrestle, if the wrestler is stronger than you, you will have, to do something with a physical challenge. But in this case, the challenges come from the invisible world. So it's much more subtle. When we begin the journey here, there's lots of entities that we don't really see that would challenge us, some of which do not really want us to be happy. So they will start provoking circumstances keeping you from coming here. I'll tell you the experience of my mother. When she discovered the Divine Light in Paris, she decided that she wants to take the seminar. She was really amazed, because she had a heart condition And after receiving Divine Light for 2 weeks, she has gone to doctors in the United States, Europe, Africa, many places. She's never been able to correct. At the time, the cardiology wasn't as developed as it is today. And in 2 weeks of receiving Divine Light, her heart became normal. And then my young brother, who was born with leprosy, which is considered a non-curable disease to this day, you know, he received Divine Light after my mother for 2 weeks, and the leprosy was gone. It's registered at the Pasteur Institute in Paris as a miracle they still do not understand to this day. So she was excited. She said, let me take the seminar. And so she registered for the seminar. And she's been going, my mother went to the center every single day. She never missed a day. And here, the center, which she went to every day for a few weeks, she goes on Friday for the seminar. She looks for it all over the neighborhood. She couldn't find the center. So she couldn't take the seminar at that time. Yeah, she couldn't find it. So there are challenges. They are spirits. We call them the floating spirits, but there are spirits of our ancestors also that have some situations that cause them some difficulties, and other spirits that simply do not want you or your lineage to be happy. So they will cause all kind of circumstances from the invisible world to discourage you to continue here. So this type of effort is really amazing. It's gradual, but as long as you make the necessary effort to overcome one after the other, each time you overcome, there are some realizations that you make, in fact, that allow you to move up to the next level, and move up to the next level, and move up to the next level, and move up to the next level. And just as he said, a challenge that is big or a big problem becomes average size problem. Average size problem becomes a small problem. Small problem just disappears. When you combine this divine light and this spiritual power from God with your own effort and sincerity, that's how the process, in fact, unfolds. You wanted to say something?
Well, I was just going to make a comment to your point of the floating spirits. I experienced that. I think you did too. At the seminar, it was going great. We left for lunch and came back, and we were just furious. I had to sit out in the car for 15 or 20 minutes. Who was it that came out? Keita came out, and he talked to me. And for those of you who don't know Keita, he's in the spiritual center in California now.
It's him right here.
Yeah.
He just moved to California before the hurricane.
Yeah, and so he talked me off the ledge. I knew I wanted to come in, but I was just so angry. You know, he told me, "Oh, this happens all the time." I was like, "Okay, so if I'm crazy, I'm in good company." And so made it inside, and actually, I could feel once I started to sit in this room, it just started to unwind a bit. Just what was so dense and so heavy and just like body shaking started to calm down, and just eventually okay, it's fine, we're good. And so that's something that I've experienced time and again over the past several months, and I've just come to realize that's somebody, you know, haters are gonna hate kind of a thing. And so that's the whatever's following you around, whether it's from you or anybody else, it's there, and if you want to be free from it, you have to go through it. And so that's part of the dedication and just showing up. It's like, I'm gonna be here every day like your grandmother, and I don't show up here every day, but I have a spiritual practice of my own that this supports, and I show up every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, depending on how big the challenge is, you know, and how mature and spiritually pure I need to be for the circumstance. And that's a measure I take on myself to say, you know, are you this tall, buddy? If you're not, go keep working, you know, because we can't confront that, because when we do, it just leads to disaster. And, you know, you wake up, and if you're not this tall and you engage with your kids or your parents or your wife or husband or whoever, and it's something that you know is historically causing conflict, you must eventually come to realize, well, there's only one person that I can take care of, and that's me. And until I'm this tall, I'm not qualified to have that conversation. So that's show up, smile away, and even when it's hard, you know that you're doing something really good. And again, once you get through it, it's so liberating. And it's just so much less stress, less anxiety, less just underlying worry. You don't even know it's there, but it's there. And then when it goes away, you're like, oh my God, how was I living with that?
Relief.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happens in the process is you become much stronger spiritually, mentally, and physically. Each challenge that you overcome. So as he said, the next one looks like almost like a piece of cake, right? Where several months or years before you could perceive it as impossible to overcome. But it becomes a piece of cake because it's in your nature as a spiritual trainer or trainee to strengthen yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. So in our case, we don't put such an emphasis on the physical or the emotional aspect, because the spiritual body is, if you compare the spiritual, mental, and physical bodies to a fountain or a river, as I perhaps said yesterday, so the spiritual body is the upstream. So when you clean the upstream, naturally, the middle stream and the downstream become cleaned. So it's much less effort. I'm not saying there's no effort, but effort is tremendously
Release.
absolutely, yeah. So I would like for you to try, those of you that are prepared to receive divine light, please try your first experience today. Receive for as much time as you have, and then you'll see how it works. Hmm? There's no way to describe it, but to just try,
Just to feel it.
Mhm. And enjoy it.
I can't seem to be quiet today. I felt my brain regenerate when I was receiving divine light. It was maybe the 5th or 6th time. I had a lot of trouble from concussions. I played football in high school and then in college, and then I got into mixed martial arts and kickboxing and all the good stuff to bounce your head off of other people's body parts. So anyways, I had a experience where I could feel this portion of my brain. It felt like intense, like if you've ever fallen asleep on a body part,
Yeah.
and you can't even almost roll over and you come back and then it's such an intense feeling. That's in the ballpark of what it was, just much more refined, and it felt like it was much hotter than that. So
Cool.
yeah, and all the other benefits came with it too, so it's great.
Thank you very much, I
Yeah, you're
appreciate
welcome.
that. So,
I did
yes.
have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned, and I noticed I believe it was on that TV screen
Yes.
about the different times that you're open.
Mhm.
Is that open to receive divine light, or what do you do during the times that were listed? And
Yes, what we did here today, we try to do it once a month or once every other month, depending on the availability of a presenter. Other than that, what we do every day is what we are proposing to do for those of you who have time, is just you would receive divine light. We that have taken the seminar would give you divine light. There's several of us here, so all of you can receive divine light. That's what we do every day, from Tuesday through Sunday.
okay.
Monday is the only day that we are closed. And usually the times are pretty much outlined in the calendar, but eventually for a special event, like yesterday we had a special event, so we finished around maybe 9 p.m. or a little later on. But usually we finish at 8:50 p.m. during the weekdays.
8:15.
8:50 p.m. during the weekdays. And Saturdays, Sundays, we finish either 7 or 6, depending on the events.
So you can come anytime during that time, or do you need to make an appointment, or how does that?
Either or, if you're used to coming and you know exactly our schedules, you can just come. If you're not used completely, you might want to call and make an appointment to make sure that we have someone to give you at the time that you come and that you don't have to sit and wait too long.
Okay.
If that's okay at
Thank
the
you
beginning,
for
and then you'll get used to it, and then it'll be quite easy.
Thank you kindly.
You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Any other question?